Gene Deal and Suge Knight are speaking out about Diddy, raising serious concerns. Gene recently suggested that Diddy may have cooperated with federal authorities in the past, while also bringing up questions about old cases, including Tupac Shakur's tragic death. Gene also shared that he's been facing backlash for his statements, even claiming he was recently confronted by people unhappy with what he revealed. As the situation unfolds, Gene believes his safety may now be at risk.
He's going to go to prison. And if he do, it'll be for something very, very small. It wouldn't be nothing what the people think. I don't think he's going to go nowhere long. And at the same time, you got to look at it. The best witness they had is PDiddy. PDiddy been an informant for a very, very long time. And PDiddy is getting ready to go to trial for the murder of Tupac. PDiddy said it, everybody else know it, and PDiddy says the money came from Puffy to keep Tupac and myself. So if they really wanted Puffy that bad, PDiddy would have cut a deal with them, got on that stand, and broke it down. That'd have been the RICO right there. That'd have been murder for hire right there.
And I got a lot of respect for you, Suge. Suge, I got so much respect for you, bro, because when this East Coast, West Coast war could have been shutting down, Pac was living, Big was living, Eric B, Big D, y'all set up there and y'all was gonna set up a meeting. Everybody who had something to do with it was supposed to show up. And Puff refused to. You didn't, brother. You wanted this shit to be over with. Even though you didn't with Puff, y'all wasn't dealing with each other no more. I remember when you and Pac was in the car behind the House of Blues. You was in the red Rolls Royce, Pac was in the white. I was in the car when Puff rolled up on you and said, yo, Suge, we got any problems down here? And you said, bro, I don't know any problems you got. That was even after Jake was. You said, brother, I don't know any problems you got.
Suge Knight and Gene Deal have shared insights that suggest they may know more about what happened the night Tupac Shakur was killed. Suge was with Tupac during the shooting, and Gene has spoken about being close to conversations surrounding the incident. On September 29, 2023, nearly 27 years later, Dwayne Keefe D. Davis was officially charged in connection to Tupac's murder. In new court filings, Keefe D. reportedly claimed that he was paid to carry out the act and named a well-known music mogul as being involved. According to him, a man named Eric Von Zip Martin acted as the go-between. The filing suggests both Tupac and Suge were the targets. These claims are still under legal review.
The Biggie Smalls investigation in the early 2000s. The filing reads, the three LAPD and FBI agents were part of a task force to solve the shooting of rapper Notorious B.I.G., also known as Biggie Smalls, legal name Christopher Wallace. The task force, through a sophisticated criminal investigation, obtained sufficient evidence that would prove Mr. Davis was the leader of the Southside Crips and his gang was responsible for over 360 kilos of cocaine and PCP. Mr. Davis provided 3 interviews to obtain immunity from prosecution. The final interview were solely questions regarding the Tupac Shakur shooting, which Mr. Davis was also provided immunity from prosecution. So during a December 2008 interview with investigators, that is when Davis allegedly started to spill the beans about his one-time friend, Sean Combs, who he refers to as Puffy. He claims Sean Puffy Combs solicited Mr. Davis to kill Suge Knight and Tupac Shakur for $1 million. Eric Zip Martin, an associate of Puffy Combs, provided Mr. Davis with a gun to exact revenge on Tupac Shakur for the beating Mr. Anderson received. Now, Davis reportedly told the investigators that even though the job had been partially completed and Shakur was killed, neither he nor Anderson ever got paid. He later revealed that he believes Combs had paid the go-between Zip Martin, who he claims kept the money for himself. And he said much of the same thing in a 2009 interview a year later, because according to the motion to dismiss, The Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, as far back as 2009, was in possession of the same set of facts that the Clark County District Attorney is now alleging makes Mr. Davis responsible for the Tupac Shakur. The Clark County District Attorney's Office has offered no reason as to why it waited another 14 years to prosecute a case against Mr. Davis. Mr. Davis has been irreversibly prejudiced by this unnecessary delay in prosecution of this case, and Mr. Davis's constitutional rights have been violated in an extraordinary manner never before witnessed in the annals of the American criminal justice.
Just days after Keefe D claimed that Diddy was linked to Tupac's case, reports say he was attacked in prison. Some are questioning whether the timing of the incident is coincidence.
Dwayne Keefe D. Davis, he's charged in the murder of Tupac Shakur. Davis was in court again this morning after a fight with another inmate. Fox 5's Mike Allen walks us through what happened.
Dwayne Davis is answering for a jailhouse brawl. Here's what court records show, along with images from surveillance video released by Las Vegas Justice Court. On December 23rd, Davis was being escorted back into his cell when another inmate, Rockland Hamilton, who's also facing a charge, is standing to the right by a sink in this room. Hamilton walked over to Davis and squared up, looking ready to fight. They started throwing punches and grappling, and the officer escorting Davis called for backup, gave verbal commands too for the inmates to stop fighting, and then hit them with pepper spray. Before backup officers arrived, the two inmates kept grappling and throwing punches and were eventually separated after backup officers got into the room. Both Davis and Hamilton face battery by prisoner charges.
Suge Knight has publicly stated he believes Diddy was connected to what happened the night Tupac was killed. Gene Deal also supported Suge's claims, saying the same. While these claims have circulated for years, no formal charges have ever been filed against Diddy. Some believe he had close ties to law enforcement which protected him. Many in the industry and on the streets have long speculated about his influence and connections.
That caught my attention. You said that Suge, he's the only one who knows who killed Tupac. Why you say that?
Suge was there. Suge was there, and even though you in a hostile situation and you've been and guns is firing out, you're gonna get that glance and that look at the individuals or the people in the car. Like Keefe D said, I spoke to Suge. We know each other from school. So in that time, as you speaking to somebody, you see who is in the car. You see who's in the car. If somebody got enough time to speak to you or say something to you and have a brief conversation, they got enough time to get a glance of who in that car. Now check this out. If they know each other and the windows is down and they spoke to each other, you don't think Suge don't know who did the shooting or who was in there? He said, I'll never say it, because to him, he'll be a rat.
There have long been rumors that Diddy wasn't the only person involved in the events surrounding Tupac's death. Some believe someone within Death Row Records may have secretly provided information, details about Tupac's whereabouts, who he'd be with, and what vehicle he'd be in. This insider was allegedly close enough to gain trust, making it easier to leak critical information without raising suspicion. These claims remain unproven but continue to stir discussion.
The shooter, the person who shot Tupac, did you get to see their face? And was this a person that worked for Death Row?
Yeah. What I would say is this. I'm not calling a certain person Judas, whereas names could go with those people are Judas. I know it was more than one person involved in the assassination. And respectfully, I would say that I gave the husband, I gave the wife, and by the way, they're black people. I stand on my blackness because I am black. So out of respect to them and their project, you the homie, which you gonna have to wait to see what really happened when they put it out. That's all I can say about that part. But it's no secret.
That he saw, and we was overworked, and that he saw things that just didn't make sense, and that he had to run down on Suge Knight, or would have if Suge Knight would have actually been there.
I was thinking about that. If all of this stuff is true, Suge Knight ain't had nothing on Diddy.
What you mean?
You think so?
Suge Knight has always been known as the boogeyman of hip hop. But if all of this stuff is true, Suge ain't had nothing on Diddy.
Oh, you mean as far as the type of person they are?
Being a boogeyman. Yeah.
I don't know.
Like bad.
Many people believe that if federal authorities had truly intended to prosecute Diddy, they would have acted long ago. He's made bold statements publicly, and with dozens of witnesses involved, some question why more serious charges haven't stuck. The federal conviction rate is extremely high, yet Diddy never even took the stand. Some feel the recent legal actions are just for appearances, and that he may ultimately walk away untouched.
Answers are there. How could you not say they don't want to see Puffy get life? The FBI is the most powerful people in the world. It's government. They have great prosecution people. Look at the prosecution rate. I think it's maybe 92, 98%. If you was just looking at it, you wouldn't think the prosecutors, as great as they are, that they was really trying to get this man off the streets. But it's still, if I was Puffy, I'd did some time and got it out the way. Because if he go in there and do a little time, he was going to feel he paid some debt to society. He'll start off where he left. If he get no time, the street's going to know the deal's been cut. If he get no time, nobody in the industry is going to fuck with him. It's going to be a bad problem for him because Puffy got to have security 24 hours a day. It ain't Puffy can get out of jail and start his own car up and drive around and live life. Him without security, he know he on ball time. So he had to have security. Him without drugs, shit, he probably wouldn't be able to have a conversation with nobody. He probably wouldn't be able to look nobody in the eye. He probably wouldn't even be able to bag a bitch.
Some believe Diddy has been deeply connected within the industry, aware of powerful secrets and conversations behind closed doors. Over the years, it's said he maintained influence by aligning with key figures. His recent arrest has sparked theories that his past cooperation with authorities may have played a role. Many suggest his insider knowledge made him valuable to federal investigators.
Is Diddy at a level of being untouchable where he's protected, or is Diddy a target that they'll eventually put all the blame on him and make sure they get away with it free?
I mean, he's definitely going to be the black motherfucker in the bag. Because you gotta realize one thing. That boy life is dangerous. His life isn't, he just not dangerous with the shit they said he was doing, but he's in danger. He know too much. One thing you gotta realize is he probably having a conversation right now with the higher ups and everybody else to figure out how it's gonna work itself out. Because he know all the secrets. And if he gets to run his mouth, it could be a bad look. I look at it like the most important thing is the industry need to be built over. You have all these executives because somebody was their father, their grandfather, or all these types of stuff, and they don't give people the opportunity to grow and learn. I know when I first started in this business, it wasn't a machine. I had to be the machine. I had to figure out how to get my songs on the radio. Because at that time, they was getting 5%, and they got 10%. They was popping champagne bottles. I went from 95% of the songs you hear on the radio was my songs into 97%. So you had to really do all this thing and really do the work.
Gene Deal has been publicly speaking out about Diddy for years, sharing his perspective on past events. Recently, tensions appear to have escalated. Gene claimed in a video that he feels targeted and unsafe, stating that people have been sent to intimidate him. Just days ago, he was reportedly attacked, leading many to believe the situation is becoming more serious. Supporters are urging caution and calling for accountability on all sides.
I'm not the type of dude that you can come up on like
Bro,
this.
listen. We out here to get content. You're not gonna tell me what to do.
You can't come up on me.
Bro, listen.
If you come up on me, I'm gonna knock you the out.
That's what I say.
You gonna
That's
do
what I say. That's what I say. Bro. That's what I say. No, bro.
It came to light for y'all that this dude wanted me dead way before I came to YouTube. Because I was having meetings with serious dudes in the street. And he refused to sit down. So what did he do? He tell his security team. He didn't tell the NYPD officers. He didn't tell the Department of Correction officers. He didn't tell none of the parole officers or anybody he had working for him that was officers. He told street dudes who had did dirt in the street. When y'all see Gene, y'all do him dirty. Y'all beat him up. He ain't tell him to beat me up. What I look like getting beat up? What a grown man look like, somebody smacking him around, hitting him and all this shit like that. I ain't taking no ass whooping. I ain't took an ass whooping since the fucking doctor spanked me on my fucking ass. I ain't took an ass whooping since my mama and my daddy. When they stopped taking it, I guess I'm got amnesia. I don't know what an ass whooping look like or feel like. What he look like telling somebody to whoop my ass? He didn't tell him that. He wanted me in the dirt and was trying to rock me to sleep. He knew where I was at.
Gene Deal has always stood his ground, no matter how intense things got. Unlike many, he's never shied away from difficult truths or uncomfortable conversations. For years, he's been vocal about what he believes, even when others stayed quiet. If intimidation could stop him, it would have worked long ago. But Gene has made it clear, he's committed to speaking his truth no matter the risk. His courage comes from conviction, and that kind of voice isn't easily silenced.
Yo, you got questions to answer. For who? I said, if you want me to answer questions, do an interview. I got a booking number, then you do an interview. I answer any of your questions. I ain't got no problem of answering anything that you want to know. All you got to do is pay my fee and I'll be there. He said, well, you ain't gonna tell me how to get the contact. And as soon as he said that, and he came like he was coming close to me, I took it back to 92. Wu-Tang, protect your neck. And that's all I'm gonna say. I took it back to that. I took it back to 1992 Wu-Tang, protect your neck. And he know what I'm talking about. Then when I did that, then next thing you know, a girl came, the guards started coming and stuff like that. And he told the guards, yo, watch the camera. He hit me. That's what he said to the guard. So one guard was like this. One guard got in front of me and I moved. He said, yo, Gene. He said, yo, Gene, because he know me. He said, yo, Gene, you could just knock me down, bro. Just take a couple of days and get up out of here. And so I was leaving. So he ran and got his camera. And then somebody called my name. He called my name like that. I turned around and I just said to him, I said, yo, bro, I'm not that dude that you could just run up on. I'm not that dude that you could say whatever you want to say. I'm a grown man. You understand? I'm not that dude that you could say whatever you want to say to, because if you run up on me, I'm going to knock you the F out. And that's how that went, bro. And there's nothing I'm proud of. You understand? But you don't talk to grown men. I don't care what kind of YouTube show you got. I don't care what kind of, you want to go viral, you want to do this and you want to do that. You conduct yourself as a gentleman. You want to call yourself a reporter. You don't see all the reporters who went to school. You don't see all the reporters who got their degrees, who got, you know, who worked up the ladder to become who they are, yelling and screaming and cursing and saying all kind of crazy shit to people. You don't see that. But if that's what you choose to do, you choose to do that.
Roger Bonds, who once worked closely with Diddy as a bodyguard, has shared claims that Diddy asked his team to keep Gene Deal quiet. According to Roger, this tension has existed since 2008. Gene wasn't just part of the security. He had a front row seat to everything happening behind the scenes. Long before any official investigations began, Gene had been vocal about what he witnessed, including questionable behavior and how Diddy handled his influence. Gene's account has become even more relevant today.
He was like, yo, if y'all see Gene, I'm telling y'all, man, somebody better punch him in the face. Somebody better do something to him, man. He out here doing this, that, and we'd be like, all right.
Okay, so when was this? Because was Gene doing interviews at this point?
Yeah, we talking like 2008, 2009. Gene was spreading the word. You know, Gene was always bad-mouthing Gene.
Wait, hold on. Vlad TV started in 2008, 2009. YouTube was really early.
No, he wasn't doing YouTube and stuff. He was going around talking a lot of shit. And we all from Harlem. So he was just talking a lot of shit. And it's a small, Harlem is small.
So what was Gene Deal saying during that time? What did you hear?
He basically was talking about Puff and woman that was going on with him and Kim. Puff being gay, you know, with him and Usher, shit like that. He was talking the same shit that he's talking now on a major scale, but he was spreading it around Harlem. Okay. So it was basically a thing where, yo, if y'all see that, man, I'm telling y'all better hear he got hands put on him, this, that, and the other. But
Gene Deal continues to shed light on the darker side of the industry, with support from Suge Knight even while behind bars. While Diddy may hold influence and resources, public attention is shifting. The conversation is no longer under his control. Share your thoughts in the comments. What do you believe is still hidden, and will Gene get to reveal it all?